पुण्यं पापहरं सदा शिवकरं विज्ञानभक्तिप्रदं मायामोहमलापहं सुविमलं प्रेमाम्बुपूरं शुभं श्रीमद्रामचरित्रमानसमिदं भक्त्या अवगाहन्ति ये ते संसारपतङ्गघोरकिरणैः दह्यन्ति नो मानवाः। सुंदरकांड में हनुमान जी घर घर में जानकी माता को खोजते हैं और कई स्थान में खोजकर अंत में अशोक वाटिका में सीता जी का दर्शन 5 मिनट्स होता है। या जस्ट 2 मिनट्स Just he was talking in Hindi, so okay. Yeah. सीता जी का दर्शन होता है अशोक वाटिका में। श्री रामचरितमानस में वाल्मीकि रामायण में उपलब्ध नहीं है, किंतु रामचरितमानस में हनुमान जी खोजने समय विभीषण के महल जाते हैं। वहां एक सुंदर संवाद होता है और विभीषण से ज्ञात होता है सीता जी के स्थान। अध्यात्म रामायण में लंकादि देवता से ज्ञात होता है। फिर अशोक वाटिका जाते हैं सीता जी को देखने के लिए। किंतु वाल्मीकि रामायण में स्वयं अपनी स्फूर्ति से, अपनी प्रतिभा से हनुमान जी का ज्ञात होता है अशोक वाटिका में सीता जी है। ऐसा इस प्रसंग तो बहुत अच्छा है। वाल्मीकि रामायण में खोज कर हनुमान जी अत्यंत दुखित होते हैं और विचार करते हैं, सीता जी को देखने के बिना कैसा मैं राम जी के पास जाऊंगा। ऐसे विचार करते हैं हनुमान जी। अंत में ऐसा चिंतन आता है हनुमान जी के मन में, जब सागर लंघन के लिए शुरू किया मैंने, तब सब देवताओं को प्रार्थना मैंने की। ससूर्याय महेंद्राय पवनाय स्वयंभुवे, मेरे गुरु सूर्य भगवान, मेरे वरदायक ब्रह्मदेव, सबसे मैंने प्रार्थना की और मेरी इष्ट देवता श्री राम जी को भी प्रार्थना की। लक्ष्मण को नमस्कार करके, राम जी को नमस्कार करके मैं यहाँ आया हूँ, किंतु सीता जी को मैंने प्रणाम नहीं किया। जिस सीता जी को मैं खोज रहा हूँ वे सीता जी ही एक देवता है और देवता के दर्शन के लिए सीता जी को प्रणाम करना है। सीता जी की कृपा से ही सीता जी का दर्शन होगा। ऐसे चिंतन करके मन में यहाँ सीता जी की स्तुति करते हैं हनुमान जी। नमोस्तु रामाय स लक्ष्मणाय देव्यै च तस्यै जनकात्मजायै नमोस्तु रुद्रेन्द्रयमानिलेभ्यः नमोस्तु चंद्रार्कमरुद्गणेभ्यः। हनुमान जी अपने हृदय में ही एक मंदिर बनाते हैं। एक मंदिर तो शक्ति मंदिर है, क्योंकि इसमें देव्यै च तस्यै जनकात्मजायै, गर्भगृह में, गर्भगृह जानते हैं हिंदी में क्या गर्भगृह है, संस्कृत में गर्भगृह कहते हैं ना। गर्भगृह में इस मंदिर में हनुमान जी के जो हृदय है, इस हृदय के मंदिर में सीता जी विराजमान है। देव्यै च तस्यै जनकात्मजायै। और राम जी और लक्ष्मण जी द्वारपालक जैसे है वहां। या रक्षिता राघव लक्ष्मणाभ्याम। फिर परिवार देवताओं, नमोस्तु रुद्र इंद्र यम अनिल अनिलेभ्यः चंद्र अर्क मरुद्गणेभ्यः। सूर्य चंद्र नवग्रह रुद्र इंद्र यम अनिल, ये सब परिवार देवताओं है। सारा परिवारों के साथ गर्भगृह में जानकी माता विराजमान है। परिवार के साथ सीता जी के ध्यान में एक श्लोक है। यह हनुमान जी के हृदय से आता है इस श्लोक, और एक श्लोक से प्रार्थना करते हैं। वो तो ब्यूटीफुल श्लोक है। इस श्लोक में परिवार देवताओं को छोड़कर गर्भगृह में जो देवता है उसी देवता को ध्यान करते हैं हनुमान जी। तदुन्नसं पाण्डुरदन्तम् अव्रणम् शुचिस्मितं पद्मपलाशलोचनम् द्रक्ष्ये तदार्यावदनं कदान्वहम् प्रसन्न ताराधिप तुल्य दर्शनम। सीता जी के मुखार बिंदु को ध्यान करते हैं हनुमान जी। हनुमान जी ने नहीं देखा सीता जी को, किंतु भावना से ध्यान करते हैं। पांडुर दंतम, शुद्ध और सफेद दांतों से अलंकृत है। अव्रणम, व्रण रहित है सीता जी के मुखारविंद। शुचिस्मितम, प्रसन्न स्मित से है। शुचिस्मितम और पद्मपलाशलोचनम, कमल जैसे नयन है। आर्यावदनम, प्रसन्न तारादीप तुल्य वर्चसम, चंद्रमा के समान है सीता जी के मुखारविंद। ऐसे हृदय में देवी के मुखारविंद को ध्यान करके फिर आंखों को खुलाते हैं। वहां इतने देर तक जो अशोक वाटिका नयन में नहीं उपलब्ध हुआ, उसी अशोक वाटिका को हनुमान जी अब देखते हैं। अरे, पूरी लंका में मैंने खोजा, किंतु अशोक वाटिका मैंने नहीं देखा। अब तो सीता जी के अनुग्रह से सीता जी को नमन किया और यहाँ हमारे सामने अशोक वाटिका है। मैं वहां जाकर सीता जी को फिर देखूंगा, अन्वेषण करूंगा। ऐसा मन में संकल्प लेकर अशोक वाटिका के अंदर जाते हैं। शिमशपा वृक्ष के नीचे सीता जी के दर्शन होता है। यह प्रसंग में हनुमान जी के हृदय में निर्मित सीता जी के मंदिर आता है। अब भी हम श्रीलंका जाते हैं तो वहां रामबोध नाम से एक स्थल है। रामबोड़ा। Anybody has gone there? Any of you? रामबोध में अशोक वाटिका है। वहां सीतयम्मन कोविल, सीता जी के मंदिर, सीता जी के मंदिर अभी भी है। इस सीता जी के मंदिर में हृदय से सीता जी को नमन करके अब प्रवचन शुरू करेंगे, क्योंकि यह भी शक्ति मंदिर है। हनुमान जी के हृदय में जो मंदिर था या मंदिर है, वहां गर्भगृह में सीता जी है। परिवार देवताओं का भी आवश्यकता है ना, उसी प्रकार यहां भी शक्ति माता है, मुख्य देवता। शक्ति माता के लिए परिवार की आवश्यकता है। इसलिए आज शक्ति माता के परिवार रूप से शंकर जी आए हैं और गणेश जी भी आए हैं और हनुमान जी भी आए हैं। आज प्रतिष्ठा उत्सव अत्यंत उत्तम ढंग से यहाँ चल रहा है। इस उत्सव में हम सब भाग लेते हैं पूर्णाहुति, और जो आर्तिज्य करते हैं, आर्तिज्य माने priesthood, administering this home havan, he also has done in a wonderful way, and we all are blessed to participate in this utsava, pratishtha utsava. Okay, let me continue this in English. So very interesting thing, when she was asking a title for this mandir, I gave the title Hanuman, is this matchless? Hanuman, the matchless manifestation of Shiva. This title I gave. When I was giving this title, I did not know that Pratishtha Utsav of Shiva and Hanuman is going to happen on the same day. Point number one. Today only I know such a coincidence that the Pratishtha of Shiva, Shankar and Hanumanji happens here. And the lecture also is about the same thing. And in my life, hundreds of times I have narrated Ramayana. Yet I never touched this topic. This is for the first time I am narrating. I'm delivering this discourse. What is that? Hanuman, the matchless manifestation of Shiva. Okay. And they are not different, Shivji and Hanumanji. Our religion is wonderful, beautiful. I think the most important element of our religion is pluralism and unity in diversity. Okay. It's not just diversity, neither just unity, but unity in diversity. Okay. We are proud to have various gods and goddesses. We are proud to be idol worshippers. We have lots of idols and we have various spiritual paths. The most colorful religion. And we are celebrating Holi every year. Okay. We have several devatas, but when it comes to worship from the Vedic pantheon and also from Vedic polytheism, okay, I don't hesitate to call Veda as polytheistic. I am proud of it. Why should I get hesitated? From that, gradually, okay, the focus comes to Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva. So, from the same religion, from Hindu Dharma, these two main streams emerge. What are they? Shaivam and Vaishnavam. Shaivam and Vaishnavam. I don't want to add a ism as suffix. Shaivism, Vaishnavism. I'm comfortable with Shaivam and Vaishnavam. These two streams start to flow. They are the sisters of the same mother. What is the mother? Sanatana Dharma. Okay. But there are two distinct gods. In Shaivam, main god is Shiva. In Vaishnavam, main god is Vishnu. There are two distinct gods, one may ask. Then what's the unity in this diversity, one may ask. Just by having single god, several religions cannot become one. For your information. Many of the Hindus don't know a fact. Jehovah of Judaism, okay? Sorry, Yahweh of Judaism, Jehovah of Christianity, Allah of Islam, they are one and the same. How many of you know this? In literal sense, all these three are one and the same. Yahweh, the Godhead, or the God, okay, of Old Testament or Jewish Bible, and the New Bible, New Testament, the God Jehovah, whose son is Jesus Christ, the only son of the only God, and Islam's God, the great Allah. All the three are one and the same, yet the religions are different. In spite of having one God, there can be differences in religions. In spite of having 33 crore gods, there can be one religion. Please understand this. How? This is interesting. See, here itself, how many gods? And even, see, probably what is my age? 45 or 47? Yeah, 47. And up to this 47 years, I was learning Hinduism, going on learning about Hinduism, on and on and on and on. Still, I am learning about new and new gods and goddesses. Yesterday, I went somewhere in some temple. I saw a new god. Her name is Shri Bhai. Shri Bhai. Okay. I never knew about this Shri Bhai day before yesterday. Newly, I am learning about her. Okay. This is Rama temple. Where? Birmingham. Okay. There, in front of Rama, I am standing. Nearby Sri Ram, there is one Shri Bhai. She is reading Ramayana book. I asked, who is she? Yeah, she is also a goddess. They said, I worshipped her also. Shri Bhai. And we learn a lot about new gods, saints, Siddha Purushas, Mahapurushas, going on and on. This is very interesting. In spite of having all these gods and goddesses, we all are one. That is unity in diversity. You come to Shaivam or Vaishnavam. Shiva is the main deity in Shaivam, Vishnu is the main deity in Vaishnavam. Okay. The contributions in Shaivism or Shaivam, works, literary works, texts, and the philosophy, Darshana, Siddhanta, it, it evolved to such a level, okay, it has to exist as a distinct path, Shaivam. When Hinduism is evolving, when Hindu Dharma is evolving. The same way, Vaishnavam has to exist as a distinct path because its contributions, its texts, its philosophies, its insights, it all grew. Even in Vaishnavam, there are various paths for your information. One is Ramanuja's path, another one is Vallabhacharya's path, another one is Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's path, another one is Varkari path, Jnaneshwar's path. Multiple Vaishnavams are existing. You take Shaivam, there is Kashmiri Shaivam, there is Tamil Nadu Shaiva Siddhantam, there is Lingayat of Karnataka, Renukacharya Shaivam of Karnataka, and there is Andhra Shaivam. Okay, multiple paths. With all these multiple paths, Shaivam exists and Vaishnavam exists. And when they grow as if they are distinct paths, with all their contributions, insights, darshanas, and texts and philosophies, we expect some clashes between these two paths, Shaivam and Vaishnavam. There is a possibility of some clash. Okay. To avoid the clashes between Shaivam and Vaishnavam, Tulsidas, Goswami Tulsidas, did a very great thing. His contribution is extraordinary. See, he silently did it. He did not make a propaganda. He did not tell, I am doing this to reconcile Shaivam and Vaishnavam. No. He did a very simple, silent, sweet thing. What's that? In his Ramcharitamanas, in his Tulsi Ramayana, he made Lord Shiva the narrator of the whole of Ramayana. Who is the listener? Parvati ji. Okay, Umaji is the listener. And the whole of Ramcharitamanas is filled with their conversation. Please understand. When Shiva becomes a narrator, throughout the epic, yeah. One of the oldest universities in the world. Shiva. Okay, fine. Sorry? Sorry to interrupt. No, that's okay. So throughout the epic Ramcharitamanas, okay, everywhere, Shiva not only narrates Ramayana, but also addresses Parvati. Sadaru Sunu Giriraja Kumari. If you go through Ramcharitamanas, you will have Sahasranam of Parvati Devi, Giriraja Kumari, or Uma, or Girija, Parvati. Shiva addresses again and Shiva loves his wife like anything. Okay. And he is narrating Ramayana for his wife. Therefore, he is going on addressing his wife in various ways. Anybody who recites Ramcharitamanas has to do this Sahasranam Archana for Parvati Devi. Somehow he will chant all these names of Parvati Devi. That's interesting. And the Rama Bhakta who reads Ramcharitamanas cannot escape from this Parvati Bhakti or Shiva Bhakti. It's very interesting. Ramananda Sampradaya, you may be knowing about it. One of the most glorious Sampradayas of North India. In South India, we don't know about it. In North India, Ramananda Sampradaya is the most important Vaishnava tradition. If you go to Wikipedia, I don't know whether what is written in Wikipedia right or wrong, but I'm just quoting it. Ramananda Sampradaya has the biggest, largest population in North India. This is what Wikipedia says. Okay. And that Ramananda tradition, Tulsidas also belongs to it. Tulsidas is one of the most important acharyas of Ramananda Sampradaya. That Tulsidas, when he makes Lord Shiva the narrator of whole Ramcharitamanas, every Vaishnavite has has to love Shiva like anything. In our Hindu traditions, we are attached more to our Guru than Bhagavan. Okay. Shastra and Sampradaya, yes, our Purohit is right. He very wonderfully said, don't touch my feet in front of Bhagavan. This is perfect regarding Shastra and Sampradaya. Okay. And when it comes to Prem, okay, what is that dohe? Guru Govinda Dovun Khade, Kahe Lago Pai, Balihari Guru Apune, Govinda Dio Batai. Hope that you understand this dohe. I did not translate. When Guru and Govinda are standing in front of you, in front of me, whose lotus feet I will touch? I will touch Guru's lotus feet because Guru gave to me Govinda. This is a poem of Sant Kabir. Okay. This is purely out of devotion. This is bhavana. This may not be brought under ritual. In ritual, in practice, what he said was correct. In bhavana, I am attaching myself more to my Guru than to God. I am indebted to Guru than God. In that sense, any Rama Bhakt is more devoted to Shiva than Ram. That is how Tulsidas brought. This is interesting. It's a very subtle Vaishnava element which North India has. Please understand. That is why you don't have hatred in between Shaivam and Vaishnavam. There. Point number one. Point number two, on seeing this Ramcharitamanas, okay, and its spread throughout North India, the Shiva Bhaktas too, Shiva Bhaktas of North India, they too, what they did, they made Vishnu, Narayana as their Guru. Shiva is Bhagavan, Shankar Bhagavan. Shiva is the Lord. And Narayana is the devotee of Shiva. Of course, the same Ramji established Shivaling in Rameshwaram. That was incorporated in Ramcharitamanas too, even though it is not found in Valmiki. Okay. It is incorporated in Ramcharitamanas, and it is not as new as Ramcharitamanas. It is found in Skanda Puran, so on and so forth. And anyhow, Rama is seen as a Shiva Bhakta by Shiva Bhaktas, and Shiva is seen as Rama Bhakta by Rama Bhaktas. Vaishnavana yatha Shambhuhu. Okay. Vaishnavas see Shiva as their model in the devotion of Vishnu, and Shaivites see Narayan as their role model in the devotion of Shiva. In this way, in North India, even Vaishnavas come to Shiva's temple, and the Shaivites come to Vishnu's temple. And in Vishnu's temple, Shiva becomes Parivar, and in Shiva's temple, Vishnu becomes Parivar. This beautiful model you can see in North India. So the mother Sanatana Dharma is not weakened by the daughters Shaivam and Vaishnava. Okay, this is very, very important. This is a secret of the strength of Sanatana Dharma in North India. More you differentiate, more you disunite, then our opponents will tell us, will teach us that there is nothing called Sanatana Dharma. There is nothing called Hinduism. There are only two distinct religions, Shaiva and Vaishnava. Okay. This kind of malicious propaganda will come, by which you will get more and more weakened. And in North India, you don't see this weakness. Very important thing. Okay. And for which I strongly believe that Ramcharitamanas is a very great contribution. Its contribution is massive. But Ramcharitamanas' contribution is not new. When the concepts of Shaivam evolved to that level that it has to be distinct, when the concepts of Vaishnavam evolved to that level, Vaishnavam appears distinct. When this evolution is happening, even at that time, our ancestors knew that they should not, there is a threat of these two paths to become distinct religions. So what they did, they have done a wonderful job. What they did, they made Shaiva and Vaishnava inseparable by few fundamental concepts. How? It's not only through Ramcharitamanas. You go even before some 2000 years. You go to the very old temples, even in Tamil Nadu or Karnataka, you go to any Narayana temple, you can see some Shiva there. Durgam, Vinayakam, Vyasam. These are Vishnu Parivars in Pancharatra. You have to install a Durgaji, Vinayak and a Vyas as Vishnu Parivar. If you do Pratishtha Utsav in Shaiva Agama, if you have to install Shivalinga, you should perform a Lakshmi Homa. In Shaiva Agama, I am telling, this is Vaidika Pratishtha. What we have now seen is Vaidika Pratishtha, Vedic Pratishtha. In Agamic Pratishtha, while installing Shivalinga, you perform 3 or 4 homas, in which Lakshmi Homa is very important. And Durgaji is taken to be, not only in Ramcharitamanas, even in the early Puranas, Durgaji is taken to be Vaishnavi. She is Vishnu Shakti too. And if she is the wife of Shiva, she is a sister of Vishnu. Okay. That Meenakshi marriage in Madurai, Meenakshi is the Devata, Parvati Devi. Okay. Her marriage in Madurai, if you see that sculpture, it perfectly represents 3 schools of thoughts, 3 paths. What are they? Meenakshi is in between. Here, Sundareshwara, Lord Shiva stands. Here, Bhagavan Narayana stands. Narayana is offering her sister to Shiva. This is beautiful. The trio. Appaya Dikshitra calls it as Ratnatraya. Okay, this trio. Okay, this is a synthesis. The 3 are standing together. And this is synthesis of Vaishnavam and Shaivam. Okay, for that, our ancestors sowed the seed with various means while writing Puranas related to Mahavishnu. Any Purana, you take Vishnu Purana or Bhagavata or so on and so forth. How you can call them as Puranas related to Vishnu? Because they predominantly talk about Vishnu. Doesn't mean that it doesn't talk about Shankar. Okay. Here and there it talks about Shankara too, Lord Shiva too. Not just talking about Shiva. There are some verses in Bhagavat which talk about the supremacy of Shiva. Please understand. I think these things are deliberately done. Any Vaishnava who reads Bhagavat has to read those verses also. You can't skip it. Supremacy of Shiva is spoken in Bhagavat in 3 or 4 places. In thousands of places, Narayana's supremacy is spoken. That's different. It has to talk because it's a Vaishnava Purana. In the same way, when you come to Shiva Puran, okay, Shiva Puran talks about the supremacy of Lord Ram. In fact, Tulsidas derives this narration only from Shiva Puran. Which narration? Shiva narrates Ramayana to Parvati. Parvati is asking Shiva. What she is asking? See, this Ram roams in search of Sita. But he is your Lord. He is your Lord. How? You are calling him as Parabrahma. How? Parvati ji is asking. And Lord Shiva responds to it. That becomes a Ramayana. This narration is not new in Tulsidas Ramayana. This he takes from Shiva Puran. Takes from, not from Vishnu Puran, not from Bhagavat, from Shiva Puran. So you see the great authors of the Puranas is wonderful. Even Vishnu related Puranas are written, there some Shiva supremacy has to be talked. In the Puranas related to Shiva, here and there some Vishnu Paratva, Vishnu supremacy has to be talked. Do you know about Skanda Puran? Have you heard of this? Skanda Puran about Lord Skanda. In Tamil we call as Muruga, Kanda. This Skanda. Skanda is pan-Indian for your information. In North India he is called as Kartik, Kartikeya. And Kartikeya mandirs are there in North India, especially in Varanasi. Vishesham Madhavam Dundim Dandapanim Cha Bhairavam. A very important mandir of this Skanda is in Varanasi in Himalayas. And in Maharashtra, the same deity is worshipped as Kandoba. Okay. A very important deity. And this Skanda Puran, when you come to this Skanda Puran, you can see there is a separate book in Skanda Puran. Skanda Puran runs for 1 lakh verses for your information. It is as big as Mahabharata. The whole book is in Sanskrit. There is a very big book named Shaiva Khanda. The whole Shaiva Khanda is the glory of Lord Shiva. Okay. A very detailed explanation of Lord Shiva and all his pilgrims, Shiva's pilgrims, Shiva's sacred spots found in India while Skanda Purana was written. And there is another Khanda or book. This is called as Vaishnava Khanda. Very important Khanda for Vaishnavas. And Madhvacharya, a very great Vaishnava, says in one of his texts, Vaishnavas, as they take Bhagavat and Vishnu Puran as a great pramana, they should take this Vaishnava Khanda also as equal to Bhagavat and Vishnu Puran. Madhvacharya says. This Vaishnava Khanda is found in Skanda Puran. And the whole Khanda, which runs for hundreds of chapters, it is all about Mahavishnu and his Tirtha and Kshetra and sacred spots. That is how, with such a magnanimity, with such open mindedness, we have seen the whole of uh, Shaiva and Vaishnava dharmas. Okay, this is pluralistic. I'm talking about pluralism. It is not that always strictly all believed that Shiva and Vishnu are one. Please understand. Of course, there were many who believed in that way. But apart from that, Shaivites worshipped Vishnu, considering him as a devotee of Shiva. Vaishnavas worshipped Shiva, considering him as the devotee of Vishnu. In this way, the whole thing got reconciled. In fact, this Skanda, Kumara, Kartikeya is viewed by my father, Shri Krishna Premi Swamigal, as the Amsha of both Shiva and Vishnu. Because even Bhagavatam says, Sayeva Pratamam Devaha Kaumaram Sargamastitaha Chachara Duscharam Brahma Brahmachari Makanditam. Okay. Among the various incarnations of Lord Narayana, Sanat Kumara is taken, and Sanat Kumara is described as a Skanda in Chandogya Upanishads. Okay. So he has Vishnu Amsha, who Skanda, and he is Shivaputra, therefore he has Shiva Amsha. He is after all the son of Vaishnavi, who has both Amsha, and you also have in Kerala an important deity, Dharmashasta. Have you heard of him? He is also taken to be the Amsha of both Shiva and Narayana. This synthesis of Shiva and Narayana is time immemorial. Shankaranarayana Mandir, Shankaranarayana temples of Tamil Nadu are as old as separate Shiva temples and separate Vishnu temples. In many temples of Lord Krishna, you can see Bhavani, Durgaji. I'm not talking about North India, even in South. In North, this reconciliation or synthesis is wonderful and is going on. Nobody challenges it. But even in South, if you are a Vaishnava, it's very difficult to skip Shiva or Durgaji. Okay, because Durgaji will be in Parivar. In Guruvayurappan temple, the Bhagavati is there as Parivar. In Manargudi temple, Vaishnavi Durga is standing as Parivar. The same priest who offers puja to Manargudi Rajagopalan has to offer puja to Durgaji. If you go to Ayanar, what is it? Tirukovilur, our own town. This nearby our own town, Tirukovilur. There you can see Lord Krishna or Trivikrama Swami in the main Garbhagrah. When you come out, as soon as you come out, the Parivara Devata, Durgaji is standing. She is called as Vishnu Durga. You may call in any way, but Durga is Durga. Vishnu Durga, Shiva Durga. In this way, if you see, there is always a synthesis going on. And in Tamil Nadu, there is a very famous temple, very old temple, Tirukkurungudi. Tirukkurungudi. If you enter into the temple, the first tower, very, very tall tower, which has different kind of sculptures, it's perfectly divided. Right side, everything is about Vishnu, the sculptures. Left side is Shiva. When you enter into the temple, in Sanctum Sanctorum, Lord Narayana is standing. Nearby Narayana, Shiva is standing. Okay. And Alvar, Thirumangi Alvar mentions that Shiva in his poem. These are all beautiful things to be noted regarding Vaishnavam and Shaivam. So, in this form of synthesis, there is one more concept which was made prevalent. That was not new, that was made prevalent. What is that? Hanuman is Shiva. You can see this in Ramcharitamanas. A very famous poem of Tulsidas, Shankar Suvana Kesari Nandana. Okay. First, you see in Ramcharitamanas, the whole of Ramcharitamanas is narrated by Shiva. Not only that, Tulsidas sees Shiva as Rama Bhakt. Shiva chants always Ramanam. These are all not new to Tulsidas. These things he derived from Shiva Puran. Please understand. From the text called Kashi Rahasyam. Vityam Vityam Atati Jatilaha Kopi Kasi Nivasi. In that Varanasi, the great Vishwanatha, he always recites Ram Nam, says Kashi Rahasyam, a great Shaivite text. Pujas of Vishwanath are prescribed in that text. Even now they are following. If you go to Kashi in Saptarishi Puja, if you see, in every Bilva leaf, Ram Nam is written. And Lord Shiva has that Ram Nam garland. This is a Shaivite prescription in that temple. No Vaishnava went there and prescribed it. See the beauty of the coexistence of these two streams. It is quite possible only because they are the parts and parcels of one religion, that is Sanatana Dharma. Then how you see, Shaivam can be defined. How? The worshippers of Shiva. Vaishnavam can be defined. Worshippers of Vishnu. How you can define Sanatana Dharma? Simple. That which is based on the Veda. Veda has Shiva. Veda has Vishnu. Please understand. Veda has Durga. Finished. And you worship the Vedic gods, you are Sanatani. Okay. It is the Veda which is linking Vaishnav, Shaiva, so on and so forth. And Veda is the mother of all these seemingly independently existing paths. The whole of Sanatana Dharma is based on the scripture, Veda. And this Veda is meticulously preserved. See, today I was watching, I'm not exaggerating, the priest who was administering, his chanting was complete. I was telling her, his chanting was completely flawless. Okay, while I was watching it. Generally, in few temples, some error may come. He is chanting following the Madhyandina Shakha of Shukla Yajurved, right? And this chanting is wonderful. And you see the priests throughout India, thousands of priests, they follow their own shakas, branches of the Veda, and without any flaw, they can chant the whole of the Veda. I don't see in any other religion, to my knowledge, which is very small, no other religion has the persons who can chant their whole scripture. Rigveda has more than 10,000 mantras, 10,000 verses. My remembrance 10,586. I may be wrong, but around that. Okay. And more than 10,000 verses the book contains. I know some thousands of priests who can chant all 10,000 without seeing book. Okay. Meticulously the Veda is preserved up to our times. That's interesting. That's interesting. Okay. No other religion preserves in this way. And our religion, Sanatana Dharma, is based on that Veda. Please understand. We are worshipping Shiva, Shankarji, because Shankarji is extolled in the Veda. We are worshipping Bhagavan Narayan because Narayan is extolled in the Veda. We are worshipping Sri Ramji, Krishnaji, because they are the incarnations of Narayan who is extolled in the Veda. This is wonderful. So that is how the Veda or Sanatana Dharma becomes the mother of both Shaiva and Vaishnava. Coming back to Hanumanji, Shankara Suvana Kesari Nandana. I have 10 more minutes here. And in this, I just touch this topic. I shall just touch this topic. One, the great Shankarji, from Vedic point of view, who is that Lord Shiva? This we have to understand, because any Vedic deity has some principle behind it. Okay, some deep concept behind it. And what is Shiva or Rudra? The word Shiva is more predominant in Puranas, while the word Rudra is minimal. regarding Purana. It's not that Puranas are not using the epithet Rudra. The Veda uses the word Rudra more than Shiva. It's not that Veda is not using the word Shiva. In the Veda, Shivanam, the epithet Shiva comes in several places. But Rudranam is predominant. Shiva and Rudra are one and same. Namah Shivaya cha, Shivataraya cha. Namah Shiva is the heart of Yajurveda, because in Yajurveda, Rudradhyaya comes exactly in the center. In that Rudradhyaya, Namah Shivaya comes. Therefore, we can't tell that Shivanam is not found in Veda. Okay. See, all of you should get educated in our religion. We can't be careless. We can't be careless. Why I am telling this? Why are you now trying to prove that Shiva and Rudra are one, and Shiva, the word Shiva comes in Veda? Why are you talking about all these things? Because you don't know. In Tamil Nadu, people are challenged. Shiva is different, Rudra is different, and Shiva, the word Shiva doesn't come in the Veda. All this nonsense some persons preach. Okay. But Tamil Nadu predominantly doesn't get affected by all this nonsensical preaching. This is one point. Point number two, don't think that this will not come to North India, this kind of preaching. With all hidden agenda, all this nonsense can come to other states too. Therefore, we should be alertful, vigilant. To be vigilant, what should we do? You need not do anything. Learn the scriptures. Okay. Don't nod the head for anything and everything. Okay. If someone comes and says your Ram is wicked, we should not nod the head. You first go through the scripture. You go through Ramayana. If someone talks about Krishna, you go through Bhagavad or Mahabharata. You go through at least Bhagavad Gita. Okay. We should have some, if we have some knowledge regarding our scriptures, we can't be, we can't be manipulated, we can't be carried away, we can't be spoiled. Just because we are ignorant of our scriptures, anybody can talk anything about our religion. Okay. Anyhow, Shiva, I am talking about Shiva. If you go through the passages of the Veda, at least me, I understand this great Devata, Shiva or Rudra, as the principle behind Shiva or Rudra, as the cosmic speed, the force, the speed. That we can give many etymological meanings for the word Rudra, but I am comfortable with the root, the etymological meaning, Ruvan Dravati iti Rudraha. Okay. One who rushes with the huge sound is Rudra. This is the speed. Dravati is representing that speed. And this is cosmic speed. The speed is all pervasive. Without this speed, samsara doesn't run. Okay. This speed is predominant in samhar, in destruction. Okay. Not only at the time of destruction, but this speed is consistent with every name and form even now. In this way, Rudra is all pervasive too. Ayatam Rudravartani. If you go through Rigveda, you can understand. Rudravartani means in that speedy way. Okay. Is commented by Sayanacharya as a speed. Okay. So, this cosmic speed, but yeah, this can be objected. Speed is negative. Speed leads to stress. Speedy life of us is leading to stress. But Rudra is very positive in the Veda. How can you associate speed with Rudra? In fact, throughout the Veda, wherever Rudra comes, Rudra is associated with medicine, healing, health, Vaidyanath. Bishaktamam tva bishajam karomi. All these mantras are there. He is called as Bishak. Bishak means healer. See, speed only increases our diseases. Speed doesn't reduce our disease. How Rudra is taken to be the physician? These questions can come. The answer to this question is speed is of two kinds. One, enslaving speed, the speed which enslaves us. Another speed, disciplined speed. Niyata Vega, we can call it as Niyata Vega, disciplined speed. Disciplined speed is a sattvic speed. The speed which is disciplined, which is regulated due to the calmness of our heart. This kind of speed, the disciplined speed, can bring miracles to the world. In fact, the disciplined speed can cure many diseases. And that's also the reason for Veda describing Rudra as healer. Okay. In various Hatha Yoga practices, the disciplined speed heals us. Like Kapalabhati, some dynamic practices of asanas, kriyas, bandhas, mudras, you can see the features of disciplined speed. That is this Rudra. You can see this disciplined speed is the most important feature of Hanuman. Someone asked me. Hanuman is taken to be Lord Shankar, Shiva by Tulsidas. But does Valmiki talk about that? Valmiki always says that Hanuman is a son of Vayu Devata. Valmiki never says Hanuman is Shankar. Valmiki might not have dealt with that, but Tantra Shastra says about it. Hanuman Moola Mantra is about it. And Hanuman's Upasana, Dhyana, any agamic or tantric text which prescribes Hanuman Puja, Hanuman's Dhyana, talks about it. Based on that, Kamban in his Ramayana says Hanuman is the incarnation of Shiva. And Goswami Tulsidas also talks like that. And Sant Tukaram and the great Samartharam Das, they say Hanuman is Lord Shiva. Rudra Maruti, they say. Samartharam Das, while prescribing Hanuman Puja, he instructs his disciples to chant Rudram of Yajurved. So, in our tradition, that's perfect. And in Valmiki's Ramayana also, even though Valmiki directly doesn't deal with that, directly describes, he doesn't directly describe Hanuman to be Shankara, but he hints how making this disciplined speed to be the most important quality of Hanuman. Let me conclude with this sloka and its meaning. You go to the end of Kishkinda Kand and the beginning of Sundarakand. This is very interesting. In Valmiki's Ramayana, the end of Kishkinda Kand, all these Vanaras, they are discussing who is going to cross 100 yojans to go enter into Lanka. And finally, Jambavan finds Hanuman. Jambavan talks about the potentials of Hanuman. Jambavan motivates Hanuman. Then what happens? Hanuman prostrates before Jambavan. He is an embodiment of humility. Vinita Purusha hai, Hanumanji. And with a humble mind, he prostrates before Jambavan, his senior, and he gets mounted on the mountain, Mahendra mountain. Okay. Standing upon Mahendra mountain, what will you expect? Hanuman has to cross the 100 yojanas of ocean, for which Hanuman increases the speed. You will expect this description from the poet. But Contrarily, Maharshi Valmiki describes here, Savegavan Vega Samahitatma Haripraviraha Paravirahanta Manasamadhaya Mahanubhavaha Jagama Lankam Manasa Manasvi. Savegavan, even though Hanuman is speedy, Vega Samahitatma, he controlled that speed. And then what happens? Manas Samadhaya. He calms his whole mind. And by calming the mind, he calms his vitals, he calms his whole body. Why? Because he is an experienced soul. Mahanubhavaha. So with this Krishnada Kant ends. Then how Sundarakand starts? Yesha padamanveshtum charana charite pati. From the depth of his calmness, from the depth of his silence, okay, he impulses the speed. Okay, he impulses the speed. Yesha padam anveshtum charana charite pati. The speed, the extraordinary speed, is derived from the absolute calmness of his mind. That becomes extremely powerful, and that is the Rudra potential of Hanuman. Okay, that's the Rudra potential of Hanuman. Beautifully, at the end of Kishkinda and in the beginning of Sundarakand, Valmiki brings this dimension. At the end of Kishkinda, Valmiki describes Dakshinamurti in Hanuman, the absolute calmness. In the beginning of Sundarakand, Valmiki describes the Kala Bhairav of Hanuman, Yesha. Okay, the speed derived from the absolute silence. Okay, so in this way, Hanuman is Rudra, Hanuman is Lord Shankar, and Hanuman remains as Rama Bhakt here in Ramayana, and this is a synthesis of not only Hanuman and Ram, this is a synthesis of Narayan and Shankar. Okay, that's how it goes. So nice. Today we had a wonderful Pratishtha Utsava and Purnahuti. With that, we also enjoy this synthesis of Shankara and Narayana and Hanuman and Ramachandra. Dhanyavad.